everyone, welcome to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Gnarlo here. Say hello to everyone, Gnarlo. Good boy. Well, last we left off, we had just finished up talking to Athrall Took over here. We were at Adso's camp, and we had gotten our 15th level burglar quest done. So, now that we've finished up with that, I'm going to head back into Bree, which is down this way. We're going to go see a bard. We're going to equip our class trait that we have, that we got from completing that quest. That'll be the ambidextrous, and will give us extra damage with our left-hand weapon or offhand weapon. And then, I think, we're going to go here. Book 1, Chapter 1, Talk to Strider. We are 15th level, so we're even level with it now, so it should be tough, but not undoable. So I'm going to head on into Bree, and when I arrive, I will get back in touch with you then. Alright everyone, we've just passed the end gate and we're coming up here to the courtyard in front of the Prancing Pony. If I remember correctly, the Bree Bard, is inside the pony. That would be the most logical place for them to be. So we're going to go on inside and see if they are in here in one of the dark corners of the pony. Indeed they are. You see there that mandolin or lute or whatever it is, that instrument on your little mini map, that shows what the bard is. So we're going to go over there, speak to them. Owen Oakes, the Bard of Bree. And let's see what traits we have to
What do you need?
equip. Alrighty. So our virtues are, we have compassion. We have empathy. That'll give us more fate. Fate increases the amount of power and morale that you regenerate while in combat, so that's always good. Resistance is always good, and extra armor is always good. So let's drag that over here. Drop that in there. Now, do we have any race traits yet? No race traits yet, but we do have ambidextrous, our class trait. So we'll go ahead and drop that into place. And of course we don't have any legendaries yet. They don't even open until I think you're 50th level? 41st level. So those will be closed. So alright. So we've got a couple of new traits we can equip. It'll cost us 11 silver 56 to do that. We definitely have enough. So let's go ahead and confirm it. And ask us, are we sure? Yes, we are sure. Alrighty. So that was a very profitable little run there. We've got more armor. We've got better, essentially, hit point and power regeneration. And we're also able to do more damage while we're in combat. So, next up, let us go. Actually, let me pull up here. Trick, disable, mischievous glee. Never mind. I was hoping they showed levels. I think I went and saw the trainer when I hit level 15. Yeah, because she was the one that sent me on the class quest. Duh. So, excuse me, next up we're going to go talk to Strider. Let's pull up the quest and remind us of it right quick. The Dourhand's lord fled to Breland after his defeat, and not by mere chance. I see the hand of the captain of the Nine in all these affairs, in the west, in the Shire, and in Breland. We must unravel the thread of his plans, and I believe I know how. To the east of Bree there is a Blackwold camp, which my men have been watching closely. A shadow has recently spread across the camp. I believe it is here that Amdir is gone, and his dwarf lord as well. There we must go, and there we must end Amdir's life, if he can still be called living. We will wait for nightfall, and then make our move against the Blackwolds. Speak with me again when you are ready to depart. That was the message we got from Strider. So we need to go down the hallway, go back to his room. do that, we'll go and talk to him and start this quest. I think it's through here, is it not? Before we go talk to Strider, let's have a quick synopsis so that we can refresh what has been going on in the epic quest since way back in episode 1. Our story begins back in episode 1 when we are out in the Shire taking a quick moonlit stroll down through the road of Tookborough. As we're traveling down the road, we run into Bounder Boffin, one of the bounders of the Shire, who's out late at night and is glad for the company because he says there's a strange chill and strange feeling in the air tonight. While undergoing some rudimentary combat training with the Bounder, we are interrupted by several hobbits walking down the road late at night. A very strange sight in the Shire. Who could it be? Why, it's Frodo, Sam, and Pippin traveling through the Shire. What are they doing out this late at night? But there's no time to ponder as we suddenly begin cowering as some menace comes down the road. Frodo, Sam, and Pippin run off into the bushes and flee over the hill as we get our first taste of dread as our mini-map turns to the Eye of Sauron. As they flee and hide, down the road approaches our first taste of a Black Rider, riding up to ask us about the Baggins. Where is Baggins? As we cower in fear. We are lucky in that the Black Rider has more important fish to fry than us tonight, so he rides off into the distance on the trail of the three adventurers. As he leaves, our dread leaves us and we are able to move once again, and we flee into the apparent safety of a nearby farm. Unfortunately, the farm is overrun with giant spiders. We manage to fight our way through and get to the other side, and however there we run into Mundo Sackville-baggins and Celandine Brandenbuck. We find out that the road is not safe ahead, for they are being chased from that direction by brigands. The brigands surround us. They talk about how we will be a pawn in their plan to capture Baggins for their new and powerful leader. They knock us out in a very unfair fight. And despite my best means of attack, I am no match for them. I awaken inside of a jail cell, being held prisoner by the Blackwold Raiders. But who is this? Someone sneaking up behind them. A quick attack. Down they go. The jail cell is open and I am freed by my unknown savior. There's Bounder Boffin. Whoever could this be? Strider. Strider has rescued me from the hands of the Blackwolds. Strider leads us out of the jailhouse into the courtyard of the Blackwolds. And where do we find his friend Amdir in mortal combat with a Nazgul? Amdir fights valiantly, and yet he is struck down by one of the failed knives of the Black Riders. Strider rushes in to save his friend as the Black Rider runs off into the distance. As our dread fades, we rush forward to tend to Amdir as Celandine and Mundo come from the other direction, having been released from their prison by Amdir. Episode 2 finds us having been rescued by Strider and taken to the nearby town of Archet, a town that is under siege by the Blackwolds, if only the townsfolk knew it. Strider has the dual weights hanging on his head of feeling responsible for the town and also being worried about his friend and kinsman Amdir, who sits nearby, pale and in extreme pain from the grievous wound in his shoulder of the Nazgul's Morgul blade. Strider has us set out to try and convince Captain Brackenbrook, who's the leader of the town guard, of the danger that the town of Archet lies in. Yet the captain and the people of the town are oblivious to the danger which surrounds them on every side and refuse to listen.
Well, if it isn't the rumor monger.
Captain Brackenbook chooses to put his faith in Calder Cobb, his lieutenant, who, unbeknownst to him, has already become a traitor and is now working for the Blackwolds. We find evidence of his treachery when investigating a nearby ruin. We are beset upon by the Blackwold Wolfmaster. It is an ambush set up by Calder Cobb. Fortunately, good prevails, and we are able to defeat him. We interrogate one of the Blackwold prisoners at the local jail, who informs us that Calder Cobb is a friend of his, and that if we do not let him go, we will be very sorry whenever the Blackwolds take over the town. Fortunately, the jailer has also heard these mutterings, and he is able to vouch for our story that something strange is going on here in Archet. Finally, having the word of someone else to listen to besides a wandering burglar who happens to be a friend of those disreputable rangers, Captain Brackenbook admits that something strange may be going on in the town. He sends us to the south to talk to his friend Cal Sprigley. Cal sends us out to go to Coombe to find help, but on the way we find that the road to Coombe has been blocked by a band of Blackwold brigands. It seems the town is now cut off from any help. With that evidence, Captain Brackenbrook finally believes you, and he sends you, with apologies and remorse, to go see his exiled son John, who he has banished off to the hunting lodge for having had the temerity to claim that Calder Cobb was a traitor. John is overjoyed by the news and says that he will gather his hunters and trappers together. He sends you to the nearby Blackwold headquarters in order to see if you can discover their plans. Arriving at the Blackwold headquarters, we are able to fight and sneak our way in and find the Blackwold plans. Reading through them right quick, we find out that the Blackwold brigands are planning on attacking town that very night. So we take them and hurry back to John. Calling upon his hunter's knowledge of the area, John realizes there is an unused back entrance into town that we are able to take advantage of. So that night, as Archet burns and the Blackwolds attack, we fight our way deep into the town. We manage to fight our way to the central courtyard where we reunite with John's father, the captain, and our other allies we have formed, but it's too late, as Calder Cobb and his Cargul allies from Angmar come into town. We cower in dread as they demand that we hand Amdir over to them. Amdir, who has no will of his own left, suffering from the attack of the Morgul Blade, goes with the Cargul. Calder Cobb then takes advantage of the opportunity to kill Captain Brackenbrook. He in turn is quickly slain by Gnarlo and his band of allies. Upon the defeat of Calder Cobb, John Brackenbrook makes good his promise and sees that Gnarlo, Celandine, and Mundo are escorted back to the safety of the Shire. It is in the Shire that a seemingly unrelated string of adventures involving hobbits afraid of ghost goblins leads us to the meeting with the Ranger Halros, who is stationed in the Northern Shire. He says that the goblins are camped along the top of the Shire and that he is worried because it seems like the rangers of the area, who we find that have been tasked with Strider to protect the Shire from evil without, have all seemed to have disappeared. He sends us to the Prancing Pony in Bree to talk to his captain, Strider, and to give him news of the events going on in the Shire. And that leads us to today's episode. And now we return to the sad conclusion of The Tale of Amdir. Turn right at the bear. Yes, indeed. Alright, I'm going to check my inventory right quick. Make sure we got room. Yes, we definitely have room. Let me throw this over here. Need to get some stuff off on some of my mules, but right now we're doing okay. Alright, let's talk to Strider. And as you see, this is a solo quest. The one person over here stands for that it is a solo quest. So, that's it. It should be doable at this level. Should be quite doable. I don't think there's any quest in this game that's really hard. Not, especially after you've out-leveled them, but none of them are really... It's the rare one. Like I said before, that rare, like the Guardian solo quest that time. A few little rare quests that are kind of out of their... Excuse me, a little cup of coffee. Out of their league, but otherwise none of them are terribly hard. So let's see what Strider has to do.
Are you ready to leave?
Are you prepared to travel yet? If so, then come nightfall we will move against the camp while Amdir and the Dwarf Lord have gone into hiding. Alright. Let us go to the camp.
Strider and the Rangers pursue their fallen brother Amdir to the Blackwolves' camp. But not all is as it seems.
Amdir's terror must end now. Alright, there's Strider. Here's the camp. Are we safe here, Agorn? We are just to the east of Bree. You can actually go here. There are a lot of quests that actually lead you into this little camp right here. The only part of it you can't get into is the final part where you go up and fight against Amdir. That area is always closed off with a gate in the regular game. It's only open during this instance. So let's talk to Strider.
There is evil afoot.
Can you feel the chill in the air? It is no natural cold, but the chill of fear of evil. I doubt not that Amdir is here, but there's a greater evil as well. We should split our strength. Oh, he never played D&D. You never split the party. For the good of Middle-earth, none can be allowed to escape. Linglin and I will look for another way inside, while you and Torthan search for Amdir. We must be quick now, before the evil bursts forth from here and threatens all of Breland. So we will be going with Torthan and entering the Blackwold camp, while Strider and Linglin run off and, I don't know, go play ranger in the bushes, I suppose. And the two of us attack the main gate. Oh yes, very well. Guys, the camp's back this way if y'all are looking for a place to get in. I feel abandoned.
Are you ready?
He said he'd call in the morning. Come with me. It's time to deal with Amdir and those brigands. If Amdir escapes, it could spell doom for Middle-earth. Alright, so we've got to defend Torthan. The gate goes up. What were those things? That dwarf has gone mad. There's loot to be had. Don't you go running off, Torthan. Let's riddle that one and we'll fight the other one. It didn't take long, did it? Gidget, don't go running off. I'm planning on getting paid for this trip. See, some of the guards, anyway, are cowering. Alright, why did you stop this time? There's no loot to be had. Let's riddle you. Go after the other guy. It's much easier when you can do a little crowd control. The original Gnarlo back in EverQuest was a gnome enchanter, so crowd control is something that's right up my alley. Something I've always enjoyed. Alright, get closer. And he stunned me. Amdir. Hello, what's your name? What the hell did you go running off for? I was still fighting one. Alright, let's look around, make sure there's nothing I haven't looted, no chests, anything like that sitting about. Fortunately, it looks like most of the guards, it was a mistake that I targeted the wrong one because he wasn't even in the fight if I'd left him alone. I see no chest, no nothing, so let's go back and talk to Torthan.
Silently now. Darkness approaches.
Down here in the southern corner of the camp, the source of the Blackwalled Sphere is there. Come. That thing went up easier than my thing went up easier than my garage door does. No, stay away. Did you think the service to Angmar came without a cost? Ah, I found them after all. You are relieved of your obligations, Blackwalled. Now to deal with you, Ranger. I have other business to deal with. My servant shall deal with you. Let's take out this Barrow White. That is priority number 1 right now. Slow his butt down. Alright. And down he goes. I assume the rat. The rat did have something. Crooked claw. Come, friend, this is not the end of our business here. The greatest evils may be behind this gate. Rest now, for we will need all our strength ahead. Alright. And look around. Ooh. Apparently that dwarf did quite a job on everybody while he was here. Now, like I said, and normally when you're playing this, you can get all the way to this point. In fact, there's one of the leaders of the Blackwolds is standing here, and you get a quest to fight against him. But you can't get past this gate. This gate and the stairs that goes up is only available, so far as I know, in this instance. So let's talk to Torthan, and we will go up the gates and deal with the evil that has
Stay a moment.
been released since Amdir was turned. Who was that dwarf, and what power has he to command whites? That the Blackwolds were in terror of that creature is certain, but I still sense something greater still in these ruins. And where is Amdir? Perhaps beyond that gate. Do not lose your nerve. Alright. Up, up, up. Ooh, Nazgul. You shall not interfere. Amdir is now a servant of the Great Eye. Now, Amdir, take on the robes of the Kargul, the Forsworn. Excuse me. My lords, the rangers appear. The fools are too late. Amdir's change is nearly complete. Come, brethren, we must leave. Now is not the time for such a fight. We leave Amdir and these fools in your care, Corgan. Yes, my lord. Whoa. There goes Aragorn. He and the other guy have gone out fighting against the Nazgul. That's going to leave us Eogan and Amdir to deal with. Amdir, you are too late. I am Kargul. I serve the Great Eye. Let's see if we can't do something about that Kargul. You should do something about that cold. It sounds a little bit, you're a little hoarse there. Maybe some throat lozenges could help. I am sorry, Amdir. Be at peace. Ooh, and we get to loot Amdir as well. Poor Amdir. Alrighty. And we can't follow Aragorn and them because they took off out through that gate and closed it behind them. Oh. Nice cemetery. Never had the chance to actually look around it before. Let's talk to Torthan again. See about ending this quest.
It's a sorry day.
It is a day both dreary and joyous. It grieves me that we were forced to slay Amdir, but a relief that he should now know peace. I will lead you back to Strider. I will return to my camp. There we go. Completed Unraveling the Thread. Book 1, Chapter 1.
It's a sorry
Instance
day.
1. The very air seems polluted by this night's business. We should tarry here no longer.
The Nazgul have crossed the Eisen and are heading for the Shire. The hobbits must be quick-footed enough to escape the wrath of the Nine. And we can only hope that Frodo slips through the traps of the enemy.
And there we are. Let us talk to Strider one more time, see what he has to say.
Alas for Amdir.
It grieves my heart that the enemy was able to turn Amdir thus. He was my friend and kinsman. My people will remember him as the man he once was, good and noble. It troubles me that the Nazgul have crossed the river and moved into Breland at just this time. There are events in motion which could determine the fate of Middle-earth. If you are able and willing, I may have another task for you. So we're going to get some coins, some increased reputation, and we get to choose one of these. Ooh, those are nice gloves. Those are nice gloves. And that is a nice cloak. Lordy, lordy. Good golly, Miss Molly, this is hard to decide. Alright, we got 55 armor and 5 will. 79 armor and 5 fate. I like that one. Or the cloak. Ooh, increases our morale quite a bit. But I do like having that increase to my run speed. I think I'm going to go with the gloves right now.
I have a task for you.
Alright, Chapter 2. I am curious to know who the dwarf you encountered at the Blackwold's camp was. Dwarves are by nature honorable and cannot be dominated by the will of any. Why this one would serve the enemy, I cannot say. Worse yet is the appearance of the Nazgul. I must go watch the East Road, for I'm expecting some travelers, and now fear they may be in danger. Would you travel to Coombe and speak to a constable there named Underhill? You may know him already, stout little fellow who loiters about town centre. You may suggest to Underhill that he investigate the Blackwold's old hideout. When that is done, return here with your report. If perchance I am not here, assume the worst.
What road did you take, Frodo? The ringwraiths ride openly in the Shire, but there are places which are even more terrible and dangerous.
I think we've seen this one once.
If you choose the path I fear, search for the light in the darkness.
I think we've seen that cutscene once before. Whoa. Well, when they say travel to Coombe, they mean we're going to send you to Coombe, don't they? Alright, well, let's grab the stable while we're here.
What do you need?
Good. Alrighty. And that should be enough for this episode here. So we will see you next time. It's good to know that we once again put our poor friend Amdir's soul to rest, so that he will no longer be under the dominion of the Eye. So we will see you next time. Tomorrow, today is the 19th of December. Tomorrow we have the two big events in gaming going on. Number one being that Star Wars The Old Republic is starting up. Number two, of course, and the most important one being that the Yule Fest begins here in Middle-earth. So we will spend the next few episodes examining the Yule Fest and seeing how things go in that, and playing around with all the different events and trying to get those items that are up for grabs that we did not grab last time it came around. So once again, I do hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.